Hello and welcome. I'm going to do a quick video here because something keeps popping up on my timeline on YouTube, and someone said this to me the other day, and that is there really a decline in the film industry? So they're really basing this on attendance at cinemas, and I don't think that's the best place to look at it. So in the UK, you've got a bunch of film studios. You've got Pinewood Studios, Shepton Studios, Longcross, and Warner Brothers, which is Leavesden. These are your main go-to film studios for proper big movies, big budget movies. But right now, most of them are doubling in size. Okay, so you've got Pinewood Studios has doubled in size in the last 10 years. It got bigger and bigger. They bought more land, building more stages, more workshops. Leavesden has doubled in size probably in the last 5 or 6 years. They built a second multi-story car park to accommodate for more crew. They built more stages, more workshops. My last movie, which was about 2 months ago now, werewolf film, was made at Sky Studios in Elstree. It's brand new. First time I've ever worked there. It's huge. Absolutely brand spanking new. Studios don't expand like that if the industry's on decline. So let's talk numbers, because this is really going to show you what I mean. So Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers initially invested $100 million, that's $123 million, to acquire Leavesden. So in 2023, they announced a further £245 million for expansion. And that's going to take place over the next 2 years to 2027. And I've seen that already happening at Leavesden. I've seen the expansion with my own eyes. So Leavesden, Warner Brothers, has already cost now $345 million on that site. Now, Pinewood Studios, Classics, one of my favourite studios to work at. Okay, I've done so many films at Pinewood. Set up in the 1930s it was meant to be the UK's version of Hollywood. Now in 2014, they secured 200 million to expand Pinewood, which I've seen. Okay, when I was on Rogue One, that was already well underway. Then in 2022, they secured another 500 million pounds to create a visitors hub, I think, to make it more like a tourist attraction, like they've done with Harry Potter tour at Leavesden Studios. At Leavesden, you've got the Harry Potter tour right next door to the main studios. And then in 2025, they've secured another 1 billion, that's billion with a B, to expand, to build more stages, more production offices, more workshops. That 1 billion is on top of it already doubling in size. I mean, that's one hell of an investment. Now, Sky Studios, which I've already discussed. So the initial Sky costs to buy the property and to develop the first stage of Sky Studios cost 230 million. That was basically, the money was put up by Legal & General, and then they leased it when it was completed back to Sky. So this year in 2025, Sky have secured another 400 million to build 10 more stages and a bunch more workshops and production offices. Sky expects that the original studios would attract £3 billion worth of production investment into the UK over the next 5 years. And then that new expansion with the extra money that they're putting in is they expect another £2 billion back on that investment. So they're expecting a return of £5 billion from their initial output. Does that sound to you like an industry that's suffering right now? Now, let's have a little look across the pond here, okay, to the US. I've watched a recent interview with Mel Gibson. He was directing a movie. They shot it in LA, right? So in Hollywood. Okay, they shot this film in Hollywood. So for the reshoots, which they had to do, very normal thing, it was cheaper to fly all the first unit and everybody and the construction crew to Prague, hire the stages in Prague, put all the crew up in accommodation and feed them, and then fly them all back, as well as all their tools and equipment. It was cheaper to do that than to film it in LA, in Hollywood, where they all live.
I love it. But hey, the reason I'm not in California, I could make a living there, but I couldn't. You see, you can't really get anything up and running there. It's very difficult. It's cost prohibitive. It's a lot of hoops to jump through, and it's not like it used to be.
Because obviously the tax in Hollywood is astronomical. That's why everyone's leaving California. Okay, they're all pissing off to Texas, and there's actually I think a bunch of actors and producers that are trying to create like a new Hollywood in Texas because it's cheaper. So a film that's actually made in Hollywood and they couldn't do the reshoots because it was too expensive. Okay, so with that in mind, the UK is just absorbing what they can't do in the US. You know, people think that all of these major movies, all these big blockbusters, they're all made in Hollywood for some reason. They have this illusion. It's just not true. There are so many massive movies that are made in the UK. And by the looks of things, there's going to be more and more and more and more. Yes, attendance is down in cinemas. That's true. But that doesn't mean people are watching less films and less TV than before. It just means they're watching it differently. So is the film industry dying? No, it's not. It's just changed. Thanks for watching the movie Craftsman. See you on the next one.